veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
wow, welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. How are you? JR, El Cid, how are you guys?
All good over this side, thank you.
Okay, on that side of the pond is all good, huh? Meanwhile, over here, we were having our No Kings Day protest all around the country. Yeah. El Cid, how are you?
I'm good. I was feeling the humidity. It's 84, but feels like 96. I mean...
Yeah, it's also humid here too. We got up into the 80s today, so yeah, a little bit humid. I'm gonna go outside a little bit later on, though. It should be, you know, as it's getting later, it should be calming down a little bit. So, guys, were there any surprises for you on this finale episode? We'll start with you, El Cid.
Not surprises, more that it's lackluster, you know. I know people were playing with us, playing in our face and stuff, but it was more lackluster, the decision time when it came to make a decision. I was surprised it was as lackluster as it was.
Okay. Like almost kind of anticlimactic, maybe?
Very.
Okay. I feel you. JR, what about you? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was surprised that Chris and Alexis went off together. Judging by how the connection's gone, I didn't expect them to want to continue after the show. Either she would have got fed up with not getting any intimacy and, you know, what she's been looking for from him. And he seems to be put off by the controlling side of her, so he says. But then goes and chooses her at the end and asks her to ride off together.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, JR. All right. So there were some surprises for you, though. Long story short.
That was definitely a surprise. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So we start off with the it's morning, and everybody is getting ready for this new day. You got a couple of days left in the house, and what are these people gonna do? Chris.
Play some games.
Play some games, yeah, of course. Play some games and really play some games. You got Chris here, old country Chris. His countryness came out, but we'll get to that a little bit later on in the episode, okay? People not understanding what he's saying exactly. And meanwhile, you've got Jay, and Jay, she's saying none of these people are going to lead together. None of them. I tell you, I already know that none of these people are going to lead together. What did you guys think about Jay's confessional, El Cid?
I feel like it's a little bit of brag. You know, it's kind of like by the third time she done said it, I said, Jay, leave off of it. It's kind of like, oh yeah, we the top couple coming in. We're gonna be the tops going out. They're gonna be jealous of our relationship. I just thought it was just too much. Just be happy for where you are rather than the comparison with the other people.
Yeah. Good point. All right. JR, what did you feel? Was she boasting? Do you feel like she was maybe boasting, or did she have every right to be proud of the fact that they made it so far?
Yeah, both. I see she was boasting, and she by looking at the other relationships or crumble, or looking at their issues that they've had, she feels like her and Cinco have been pretty much great the whole way through. So she's definitely bragging, and very how do I want to call it? I think she was very and I think she had every right to be, because like I said, from what we've seen so far, all of the other couples looked like they were going to say no. There's only really Jay and Cinco that look like they're ever going to say yes.
Okay. Okay. Guys, give me 1 second. I see I've got a little error on my I've got two things out here, and I think it's confusing everybody as to which one of these things are live. Okay, so give me just 1 second. Continue to talk, Jr. and El Cid, please. Thank you.
Well, where we are with Jay and stuff. I was surprised that she didn't say, "Well, see, I got most of these couples out of here, so we can finally spread out in the house," like she said last time.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, she actually has helped eliminate some of these couples. So, I think she was proud that her plan has paid off as well. Watch everything else crumble, and then meanwhile, her and Cinco are focusing on each other.
It sometimes tells me like a sore winner. It's like, we need a gracious winner. That's what I usually like, is a gracious winner. Like, your relationship is going really well. Just be gracious about the fact that other people may not be. But I keep something in the back of my mind, keep nagging at me that maybe they met each other before now, Jay and Cinco.
Could be, but you have to remember she's a basketball coach, so there may be an element of competitiveness in her that you wouldn't find in some other people. So she wants to win.
But like you gentlemen tell us to not bring the work personality at home, she is not all basketball. There's more to her than basketball and the competitive spirit. So
of course,
there needs to be more to her.
Of course, but she doesn't bring that into her relationship with Cinco. She just has this competitive spirit with the other couples, where she wants to be the last one standing. So, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you know what, JR? I think you bring up an interesting point, and I'm not sure El said like how you feel about it, but I was like left this episode a little bit wondering about Jay. She has her softer side that came out during the last date that her and Cinco had, but I wasn't really feeling the softness in her this episode, if that makes sense. What do you think, Jay? Yeah.
Well, it's the last week. It's the last day, I mean. So, by all accounts, she's happy that they're going to cross the finish line, and she's kind of gloating about it, And to me, that just looked like maybe the competitive side of her just coming out.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like she says, it's kind of like, I thought it was a little braggadocious, though, when she got to talking about how she sees all and knows all. Like, I don't know that that's really true, because I'm also wondering, where was the affection? At least we didn't see it on camera as to what was edited. What we did see, I didn't see a whole lot of affection, except for the one point where they're sitting on the couch and, she had her legs around him and he had his arm on her legs. That was very affectionate to me, but I didn't really see their affection. It was more like, we're just going to stick it to everybody. That was what I got from her.
Can't be showing too much affection when you're in the kitchen all the time cooking for everybody.
Oh yeah. Now you tell me this, LC, because I couldn't figure this out. I couldn't remember, and I know you have an excellent memory. Did they ever cook for the group, or was that they're doing the breakfast? Was that basically them cooking instead of cooking a dinner?
Like, we didn't see them cooking a meal for the group. We did not see Chris and Alexis, but we are told that every couple had their night cooking. But it seemed like Jay was cooking them. She was cooking breakfast, and she was making them afternoon snack sandwiches in the bacon grease. So Jay been cooking, because Chris said, "I'm gonna miss Jay cooking." Was it Chris that said that? Somebody said that.
I think it was Chris.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was a little braggadocious, but on the other hand, now what about this one right here? What about with Charli? She's still saying she has no idea. Does anyone understand or have a feeling of what you think it might be, why Charli is walking around this last day talking about she has no idea what she's going to decide? Like, what? Jr.
Well, Charlie is still under this impression that she can convert Jared to want her the way she wants him. And that's despite everything he said to her so far. But again, he is giving her mixed messages because on the one hand, he's saying, you're the kindest person I know, and to things like that. And then at the same time, telling her he doesn't want to be with her in a relationship. So she's kind of being fed like some BS by Jared as well. But I think where she's going wrong is trying to convert him. You're not going to convert him, all right? If he's not
Right.
coming on his own free will, then just accept what it is. He's not interested in you like that. You know, as hard as it may be, she's already, she's got enough on her plate to handle. She got a newborn that she needs to go back home to and all types of things. So I just think she got her priorities wrong. Trying to convert Jared should not be what your main focus is. Your main focus should be, is he going to be the type of partner that can help you raise your 4 kids? That should have been at the forefront. Exactly.
There you
not.
go. There you go. There you go. What about you, El Cid? Do you understand why Charlie is having such a struggle, saying that she has no idea what she's gonna decide, or does it feel like she's really just waiting for Jared to tell her what to do?
I think it's a mixture of that. She wants to know exactly what Jared wants to do. I don't think it's a matter of, her decision. I think she more is saying, I don't know what Jared's going to do, and what Jared decides to do, I'm going to have to, follow along with it. But, she shouldn't be trying to convert any man, as a matter of fact. But I think it could be, we talk about our women's intuition.
Okay.
Something is telling that girl, this ain't it. And she ain't listening to it. She want to listen to the fairy tale, the Tinkerbell in her ear, telling her, once upon a time, and they live happily ever after. That's what she trying to wrestle with, reality and happily ever after.
Yeah, I do feel that.
The problem with that, though,
go ahead.
is that her women's intuition also told her to go and have that one night stand, which made that last baby.
Ooh.
So I don't think she can really rely on just her intuition.
Objection. Her intuition told her. Her intuition told her Jared was cheating. Now,
Right.
what her actions were based on that intuition ain't got nothing to do with the intuition.
Of course it does, because the actions followed what the intuition inspired her to do.
But she was right. The intuition was right that he was cheating because he got a baby too.
Right. The intuition was right, but what she did, based on what her intuition told her, is where it went wrong. Because now she's got a child with someone she doesn't know intimately. And from what we understand, doesn't have a relationship with that person. So it's just added another layer of complexity to her already chaotic situation.
Hey, I don't know.
That's not smart.
I don't know how many best friends hide kids from each other. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Oh, good point. And that's on both sides, right? That's on her side and his side, because she kind of really blew it by hiding the first 2 kids, like she had 3 kids, and just telling them she had only 1. I mean, I think she knew. I have this feeling that she knew that if she had told him about that she had 3 kids from the get-go, we never even would have got to this point.
Ever.
No way. Because
never ever.
Exactly. The 3rd child was relatively young when they first started talking as well, possibly a year or 2 old too. Right. So that definitely would have put Jared off, because and then what she's done is gone into another situation where she produced a child with someone who isn't there. So he would have been doubly put off if she had been honest. But unfortunately, you have to be prepared. If you're going to be honest, you have to be prepared for what the person's reaction is going to be. And you can't always mitigate that.
Right. That's true. I mean, like you got to accept that you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, right?
Right. Exactly. So as fine as she may think Jared is, You know, the fact that she's had to hide the kids in the first place probably means it wasn't meant to be in the first place. The guy that she's looking for, she should be able to say, listen, I'm a mom of 4 kids and this is what I have. And, you know, and then that guy will accept her situation.
Yeah.
But, you know, trying to manipulate or hide the children, that's a bit crazy to do because the kids are here for the long term. Eventually, if she hadn't have revealed that secret and her and Jared had progressed, he would have, you know, been left even more in the dark and ended up having to meet these kids that he knew nothing about for 4 years. So there's no way out of it. Once she started lying about the children, she kind of created the situation herself. You
Yeah,
know,
I feel like she did, but now let's talk a little bit about Jared. Now, he also had a baby during the 4 years that they were talking online and on the phone and video chatting and all this other stuff, which is why I say these long distance, not in person relationships are fantasy. What do you feel about JR? Why didn't he tell her? Why didn't he tell her that he had a child?
right? I think Jared. Um, this may be an unpopular opinion, but I
Mm,
think Jared does exactly what he does to Charlie to other women too. So I
mm,
think he kind of, you know, tells them or makes them feel like he's interested in a relationship. And then he basically gets to sleep with them or whatever. And then
mm.
decides, yeah, you know, I like you, but I don't want to commit. You know,
Yep, yep.
I've been married already and I didn't like the way it went. So I don't want to get anywhere close to that again. But by then, you know, he's already slept with the girls. So I think that's how he created his his particular situation where he lied.
Mm.
So he's diabolical. You know, he does deserve the absolute roasting that. Yeah, he deserves the roasting that he gets because he's clearly someone that just wanted to get into the boom boom room and that's it. Clap
That was
cheeks, bounce. You know, friends with
yeah.
benefits is what he's trying to create.
Right, right. Elsie, do you agree with what JR just said?
Partially, partially. I do agree that Jared, this is performative and this is his MO and this is what he does. But I think what he does is he taps into a part of the woman that is looking for a man to understand them, a man to talk to, a man to
Mm.
befriend them. And when you get closer and closer, they're like, well, wait a minute. You're not so bad, Jared. Why aren't we together? And he would say, well, I don't want to hurt you. I've been hurt before. And they're like, no, 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 but we'll be good together. And he just allows them to fall into that foolishness that not only he's thrown a little bit of salt in there, but they have created a catacomb of possibilities with him. And he's like, well, maybe we could just try. We can just try. We're friends. We'll always be friendly, no matter what
Mm.
happens. And they fall into the foolishness.
I think I like that. I like that little dive you took there. I think I agree with you. Actually, I think that we as women sometimes can have the most creative imaginations in our head, and all it takes is for a fella to sweet talk us, and like you said, even befriend us and say, not only do I think you're attractive, Charlie, but you know what, you got qualities that I would look for in a partner. And now she's thinking marriage. You're right. Yeah, I really, I think you hit the nail on the head, Elsie.
I have to say that some of these you know tactics I have possibly used in the past, so that's why I could kind of understand Jared.
Queen of the dark arts. Okay, all righty. Well, as we see, after this, we had Keke and Jared. I mean, sorry, not Jared. Keke and Brandon headed to. She's surprising him with a date, and once again, we see them. Does anybody notice something different about this picture, or interesting about this picture, Jr.?
Mm-hmm.
Jr. What do you see?
Distance.
Yeah, yeah, they're going on a date, and yet there's like there's the whole Gulf of America between the two of them.
But that's for good
Distance.
reason. That's for good reason.
Distance. His two hands are on his lap, and she got an engagement ring on.
Right.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Oh my
Uh-huh.
God, you're right. You're right. She
And
does.
she's not engaged to Brandon.
What in the world? I didn't see that. Oh my God. An engagement ring. My Lord. What is
So
going on here?
is that the ring that the ex gave her for after 8 years of being together? Were they engaged?
Uh, do you recall, Elsie, whether her and her ex were allegedly engaged at all, or do
Yeah, that's
we?
what she said. That she had a fiance. The friend said that too. She had a fiance over the 8 years
Hmm.
they were together, and it was a fiance. Even if that was the only finger that ring fit on, I wouldn't wear it around Brandon for him to
Mm-mm.
On
see
a
that.
date. On
And
a
on the
date at
yeah,
that.
on the yeah. I'm with
So
you.
that's why there's good reason why there's distance. And plus, he's still not forgiven her completely about her secret of the relationship being, you know, being two timed the whole time he's known her, she's been with someone else. So he hasn't gotten over that. So
He
that's why there's
doesn't.
difference.
He doesn't realize he the sneaky link. He the side.
Exactly.
He the
Oh,
side
He
dude.
was he was the side dude. Exactly.
oh no, not the side dude, not Brandon, not cute, handsome, well built, put together Brandon, the side
Yeah.
dude.
He was
Yeah,
the
he
side
Mm-mm,
dude for four
hmm
years.
playing his position.
But he
mm-mm.
didn't know any better, you know? But I think this date was very petty
Mm.
because when she gave her confessionals, she was saying, "Oh, since he wants to sulk and be a baby about me telling him my secret, I'm gonna take him to Dave and Buster's."
Yeah,
That's
yeah, I
very,
caught
very
that.
petty thing to do. He wasn't
There,
being childish. He has a right to be upset, actually.
he did. He really did. He really
She
did. What did
so
you think?
while
I said,
Miss Wilson said she's a female version of Jared, I think she's a mixture of Jared and Clavassier because she wanted Brandon to
hmm,
forgive, forget, and move on real quick. It's like I would save the diabolical for Kiki. When JR
Hmm.
said, Jared is diabolical. For me, I saved that for Kiki. I mean, she been the slow burn, but again, she had a whole fiance, she had a whole relationship. Brandon decided, dude, don't know. 8 years she was someone, and 4 years of that eight, she with Brandon.
Hmm.
wow,
That's
Exactly.
diabolical.
diabolical for sure.
Exactly. So
And what
that's what I mean.
I wonder what's
That
going to happen when she gets back home with that ex guy.
exactly. That's just it's going to be crazy. But if he's an ex, then they shouldn't have any contact, right? If
Mm,
But
she's
we
if
cannot. But we can't answer the producers when we say if are we still in love with that ex.
she sure couldn't.
exactly
Remember
she
that?
obviously couldn't do that either. She couldn't say that she didn't love him. In fact, she tried to shut down that whole conversation without answering the question.
Mm. And speaking of dates, here we go. We got Charlie and we got Jared going on their date, and she's saying, "Hey, we've got to have this hard conversation because I really need to know." And once again, what do we notice, Jr. about the two of them and their body language in this vehicle?
Yeah, distance because she's confused about where she thinks he's going to go, and he has made up his mind already that listen, we've already cracked cheeks, so I'm not trying to put my arm around her and be close to her, like, because she's feeling hurt right now about what he's been saying to her, whilst also giving her some level of false hope. So a lot of distance, and she looks like she's looking out the window, pondering how to approach the date and what's going to be
Mhm.
said.
Okay, Elsie, do you agree with that? Do you see that? What do you see in their body language?
I see buyer's remorse because ain't no way you was crack a lacking me, and this is how we looking in the car together.
Hmm.
Buyer's remorse. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, you know what? You got an excellent point, actually. Like, why are we looking this disconnected? I mean, they're not even holding hands. Nobody's got a smile on their face. As JR pointed out, she is looking out the window. Maybe she's contemplating how to begin the conversation. And here's another thing. I got a question for Charlie. Charlie, why weren't some of these questions ask earlier? Why didn't you? We as the audience, I feel we heard Jared say several times he gave uh what's the word? Like he inferred that maybe this wasn't gonna work. And instead of you stopping and asking questions then, you waited till the day before to ask questions.
Yeah, well, to be fair, over the last 3 episodes, since he revealed his secret about how he really feels about the relationship and where it's going, he sat down and told her to her face how he feels. And she just has a problem understanding and digesting it. Now, it would be even worse for Jared, if he was actually trying to reach out and stroke her and hold her hand and all these different things in the car. Because again, it would be giving a false impression as to what he actually wants from the relationship. He doesn't want to do all of that. He just wants, he's already got what he wants, which is after 4 years of not seeing each other, got to be with her in the boom boom room, examine the intimate connection, and then that's it. Nothing else. He's not looking to be a father to the rest of them kids. That's for sure.
No, he's really not. He's really not. Anything else you want to add, Elsid?
He also not looking to be to father her next kid. That's the other thing.
Oh, so okay. Oh, now that is an excellent point. So hopefully, maybe they were using protection. Maybe she's now gotten some kind of birth control. Because both of these people, like, I feel like they're both pretty reckless. I mean, like, she's got 4 kids, never married, and he's got 2.
He's been married 1 time.
He has been married 1 time. Okay.
But he got bored.
And wasn't that it? Didn't he basically tell us? I mean, we're gonna get to that in a second. But Jared is really for the streets. Like Jared ain't trying to be nobody's husband, and that's okay. But what I wish he would do is stop blowing smoke up these ladies. You know what?
Now wait a minute. Is he lying to them, or are they lying to themselves?
Both. I feel like it's a little bit of both. In fact, I feel like it's a lot of Jared saying what the women want to hear. And then you're right. The women have to take accountability. You're going to love this part, JR. The women, we have to take accountability for our decisions and our body. And when you're with this guy and he's blowing smoke up your butt, you got to look at it and see, well, what has he done to show that? Like, he's saying that words are really cheap. They don't mean anything. They're just words. But like, what has he actually done? Like, first of all, why is it 4 years? These two have never even laid eyes on each other in person. That tells me a lot right there. He ain't really wanting to see her.
Well, she was hiding the kids anyway, so she can't hide the kids if they see each other. He knew nothing about them.
Right.
She didn't want to tell him. But if you look at this picture, they're holding hands again. So this is what I mean. It's like this hot and cold. On the one hand, he is blowing smoke, but on the other hand, he's also telling her how he feels, and she's not able to understand why he's arrived at the fact that he doesn't want to be in a committed relationship with her like that. And he sat down and he has told her, when his relative visited or whatever, and her best friend came, they had that conversation. And subsequently had that conversation, and she still doesn't get it. So I think she is deluding herself, because I think she's trying to ultimately end up with what she came there for, which is Jared. She wants him regardless.
And Elsie, what do you think? They all of a sudden now they got out of the vehicle and they're walking along to have this picnic, and both of them are all of a sudden they're smiling and holding hands, as JR pointed out.
He's giving her the fairy tale. He's giving her the fairy tale to walk hand in hand to the picnic spot and all that. He's feeding the fairy tale. He's feeding the Delulu.
The Delulu. Yeah, it looks like it. And why is she accepting it? Because she's smiling and she's holding hands right back with them. I mean, she could have easily just not allowed him to hold her hand and just, walked alongside him, but not necessarily holding hands. So I don't get it. It's something.
She's too far gone. She's
she wants that man.
Gone.
She's completely smitten. She's completely whipped.
She
was whipped before they even got to the boom boom room. She was whipped
before she met him.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. What do you mean she was whipped? El said, clarify that. What do
Okay.
you mean she was whipped before she even met him?
Okay. This young lady has that man's initial tattooed on her body. Are you
Hmm.
telling me that you gonna tattoo somebody's initials, name, or whatever on your body, and you
Mm-mm.
ain't smitten?
Exactly.
Yeah, good point. Because I ain't tattooing nobody's initials on my body. Oh, no,
Right.
that's not happening.
And that's also why she can't let go because tattoos are forever. So I'm thinking she got his name etched on her body, thinking that's for her forever person.
Well, wait a minute now. You know what? Tattoos can be covered up. They can be covered over. In fact, I had a family member that had her husband's name, and then when they split up, she had it like it was a rose, and his name was inside of it, and she had that filled in. So,
Right. And when
And
she
that's
went and did that, I guarantee you, she had in mind that that relationship was going to last forever. That's why she tattooed that name.
and yes, she had never laid eyes on him.
Exactly. So if that's a very crazy
Crazy,
thing to do. She doesn't
crazy.
even know. She doesn't even know. At the point she got tattooed, she doesn't even know about how he's going to react to finding out she's got more children, let alone the one night stand she had to produce the last one.
mm-hmm. Or if they're really, compatible in person. She
Exactly.
romanticized that man, and as y'all remember,
Hmm.
they were in different years of the same high school. He played basketball too. This to me is the high school fantasy in her head of she wanted to date him in high school, and now's her chance.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
Not
agree with that.
realizing Jared of 18 and Jared of 30 is a different Jared.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good point. Good point. So, wait a minute. So, they actually went to the same high school, are you saying?
I think that's what they said. They went to
Oh,
the same high
yeah.
school or and different years.
Okay. So, she just kind of fantasized about him.
Oh yeah, I know about people like that.
There's some deep delusion. Miss Wilson, hey there. She says Charlie has been buying this man since she met him online. And you know what? I feel like a part of Charlie's delusion is that Charlie recognizes that as a mother, a single mother of four children, that the options that she would have had she had no children or just one child, they're gone. A lot of those options are when you meet people and you say, "Hey, I'm a single mother. I'm only this age. I've got four kids, and here I am." A lot of men are going to be like, no, thank you. No, thank you."
Right. But that's just life. They have to deal with it, and so will she, because that's the unfortunately the situation that is the reality, right?
Right, right. I agree. I agree. I mean, like, I think there's some more thought that should have went into this whole concept of having children, especially like this last one. And I know children are a blessing. I'm not denying that at all. I'm not saying anything horrible about her actual children, but I think that Charlie has lived her life making these decisions, which basically like these choices, like, oh yeah, I'm going to go out tonight and I'm going to flirt with the guy. Oh, okay. Oh, now I'm going to go to bed with this guy and we're not going to use protection. Those are all choices, and now you're dealing with the ramification and the consequences of those choices. It's wild. It is wild.
Way too wild for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Either you have anything else to say about these two? We've got Jared, he's doing a really good job. He's smiling, he's grinning. I think Jared knows that Charlie is really into him, so he plays on that. He's able to play on that. He senses that she really cares for him, and yet I don't think he really cares for her.
No, the revelation was his breaking point. That was his point where he was like, "No, this can't work."
Hmm.
So again, um, that would be a common reaction, and I guess she knows that. But as hard as it is to swallow, as hard as it is to take, that's unfortunately the scenario right here. And the way she's confused is confusing me because I'm like, he told you what it is.
He
You
did.
just choose not to listen.
She's not listening, and she won't. And you know what? Not only is she not listening, right? She won't accept his truth. She won't
Right.
accept his truth. So I think he kind of it allows him the space to go back and say, "Well, you know what? You're my very best friend. You are my best friend." And it causes her to start crying. It causes
Right.
her to have to walk away, and he does go to find her and to talk to her and say, "Well, I didn't mean to make you cry, but I feel like you're gonna always be a part of my life. You're gonna be in my life." And like she's crying, but the stuff that he's telling her, he's thinking, "Hey, this should make you feel better."
Right. But you know what? The other thing is, Charlie has been kikiing behind people's backs too in the house and watching other relationships demise and hold secrets and all these other different things. So
Yep.
much as she's been doing all of that and she's got this to deal with, I can't, I'm not going to say that I'm not sympathetic towards her because I am to a degree, but
Okay.
I think that didn't help her case, the fact that she was doing all of that when she's got this situation where she is potentially being played by Jared the whole time since finding out about the secret.
This shot right here, this part right here at the end of their scene, where she grabs the whole champagne bottle and she's chug-a-lugging it down by herself. This says so much. What do you
Man,
say, LC? Oh, go ahead, JR. Go ahead.
I was like, listen, you've been hanging around Kiki too much because what are you doing?
You definitely got to pump and dump after that. You really do. It's like, don't let this man drive you to drink. Don't let this man drive you to drink.
He's driving her to drink. Look at her. She isn't she still she's still nursing. She still got milk in her breast
Yeah,
and
she's
whatnot.
living every day.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
it's alcoholic milk now,
Well, anyway.
champagne flavored milk.
It's got
So
alcohol content of 10%, 20
exactly,
proof.
that's
But
one way to put the baby. That's one way to put the baby to sleep instantly.
every time he says we're best friends, I keep hearing Chucky's friends till the end. Friends till the end. And I'm like, this Jared is Chucky.
Oh my God, what an analogy, Elsie. Where do you get this from?
I'm a horror movie fan. So,
I know. I love them too. I'm gonna have to watch that again now.
but it's every time he says it, you're my best friend. I keep hearing when Chucky's trying to pretend to be the regular doll, "Hey, I'm Chucky. I'm your friend till you. That's what I heard in Jared's tone the entire time. I'm like, you are playing me. You're trying to make me think you are, not as deadly. And here you are just poking at this young lady, and you're just watching her fall into the Lulu of her own making.
Yeah, it's bad. Babs is laughing alongside us. Uh, Miss Wilson says, "Yeah, pump and dump," and Babs lets us know she is also a horror movie fan. Oh my gosh, yes, I'm a big fan of horror movies. I love them. Usually, they make me laugh.
Right. Usually when they use CGI or some foolishness, I'm like, really? You couldn't try and fake something else? But yeah, all I heard, I saw Jared as Chucky. Just put him in some suspenders. He got a plaid shirt on right now. Put him in some jeans and suspenders. And Jared got his own Jared Chucky moment.
Ooh, shut up. Shut up.
Sorry.
You guys are a mess.
His friend thing, his tone too. You're my best friend. We're friends. That just irked the heck out of me. You are watching this girl crumble, and you kept saying friend, friend, friend. And I just wanted to say, for your friendship. I wish Charlie had said that.
Yeah. She got to get angry. That's the problem with Charlie. I feel like she doesn't have enough indignation. She doesn't have enough anger. It's like, I want to know what happened to her to make her this pliable, this like she just lays down like a mat, like a
She
welcome
feels she
mat.
has to because
No self-esteem.
she feels she has to because she hid multiple children from him. That's why she feels like she kind of, owes him, I guess, her being docile, because I do not see Charlie as taking this from any other man. But I could be wrong.
I don't know. I think she took it from 4 other men at this point, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I think Charlie makes a habit, I'm just guessing, and this is all from an edited show, but it's coming across like Charlie makes a habit of being romantic, romanticizing relationships, and being slightly delusional, and definitely making some poor choices in her life. Yeah, Miss Wilson, my heart does go out to Charli, but right, she should have left 2 episodes ago. I think the thing of it is, I think even before that, I think that when she told him and when he was saying, I don't know if we can make this work, and she said, and you remember, do you guys remember the episode where she basically begged him and she said, please, all I want is for us to just try, right?
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
felt like if she didn't get confirmation the next day from him or 2 days later, I felt like she should have left them, because sometimes when you hurt someone with a lie or whatever the incident is, sometimes when you hurt a new relationship so early in the relationship, and I'm saying this because I know, yeah, they talked 4 years, but they just now seeing each other, right? Sometimes when that happens, you've hurt that person and damaged the relationship beyond repair. Beyond repair. And I think that she should have just took it and chalked it up to an experience and left.
Why is she given so much? What has Jared given her? We hear too she bought an Xbox for this man.
Yeah.
What is he sent to her? What is he giving her? I'm not saying that he needs to, but what is he pouring into her? She paid for a tattoo. She sent an Xbox. I mean, it's like she's funding this man from afar.
And why does she have to send a grown man an Xbox? When I think of an Xbox, buying it for somebody, I can only think back to my son who was a kid. Like, I'm not buying no grown man no Xbox or none of them other PlayStation toy
Right.
thingamajiggets,
When
like what?
3 kids at home.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. She needs to buy her own kids an Xbox, not Jared.
Right. Well, now, do you guys recall though? They did say that there's an imbalance in their pay and that salary, and that she earns a lot more than he does. So I don't know what she does, and I don't know what he does. But do you guys recall that conversation?
Yes.
Yeah, because I heard at the time, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard she's just on social media. She's an influencer of some kind, and but she may still receive some money from the children she has too. So for children, that might be a lot of money.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I'm gonna butcher your name. I'm sorry, but Ayo Nod says Charli gets no sympathy from me. She's a hot mess. Don't forget she left her child or children to come chase a man, and then his kids laughed. Wait a minute, what?
Hid kids.
And then what? Oh, and then hid. Oh, and then hid kids, right? And she laughed at the other's pain. Very excellent point. Very excellent point. Like, JR, you brought that up too earlier, that the way she laughed at other people's pain. Like, who was that? It was Tatiana.
Yep.
She
And
laughed
Cavassier, yeah.
at Cavassier. She laughed at that. She knew what was going on. She never gave no warning, no hint, nothing. And she thought that was the funniest thing since I don't know, since Eddie Murphy, huh?
What is her social media?
Yeah, go ahead.
Social media? Is she teaching people how to make sure your kids keep quiet in the background while you entertain somebody online? I mean,
I don't know. Babs is saying too, she's a social media personality. I don't think I found her IG. Does either of you have her IG?
I really don't follow that closely, but no, I do not.
Because I have Tatiana, I have Clevassier.
But my question to you all is, if the woman out earns the man, does that mean she has to basically sponsor him?
No.
Buy him gifts?
No. But that's what I'm saying. This is Charli. Charli understands, but what I would like her to sit down with a counselor, a therapist. She understands on the one hand that many men, not all, but many men, and I'm not even going to say most, although it's probably most, many men would not want to be serious about a relationship with her simply because of the 4 children.
Hear me out with something else with Charli. Remember what Jared said earlier and what we asked, why was Charli there? And he called her his zebra. I wonder if Charli is also seeking black male validation for her inner self. I,
Interesting.
I'm wondering
Wondering.
again.
Yeah.
We don't know these folks,
Okay. Okay.
but it's like, are you looking for love in all the wrong places when you need to love your own sense of
Yeah.
blackness and not look for someone else to really recognize all of you? Because he said she had challenges about people questioning
Her
her,
ethnicity.
yes, that could be a possibility.
Yeah, and that's a very serious thing. As a mother of a biracial child, that is a very serious consideration. My child, my biracial child, um, depending on if you don't know her, you could say, is she Latina? Is she white with the olive skin? What's going on? And I think that biracial children, even in 2025, biracial people still have a lot of baggage that comes with that sometimes, right? And I think to your point, El said, I've been wondering, like, what is her relationship with her dad like? To your point, what is her relationship now? I don't know if you guys recall, but when we saw when her mother, Charlie's mother, called her and they had a FaceTime, Charlie's mother, surprisingly, is the one who appears to be African American. So then I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming it's the father who is Caucasian, right? And I'm just wondering what was their relationship like? What has it
Right.
been like? Because she definitely does seem to be seeking male validation. That's a very good point. It seems like it, okay? I don't know. JR, what are your thoughts on why she does some of these things and what's going on with her? Maybe perhaps.
I have no clue. From what I've seen on the show, um, I think we've covered it. I think it's mainly because she she's looking for Jared to step into her life on a permanent basis, regardless of the side babies and all the other stuff. She wants that man, and if there's a way to keep him happy or keep her in good favor, if it means buying an Xbox or whatever else, she's prepared to do it. Whereas I think, like El Cid said, he doesn't come across as having that same level of attraction to her where he's prepared to do anything for her. And I'm surprised she hasn't picked that up either. So I'm not sure what's got her to that. I
I
don't know if
mean,
it's a relationship with her father per se, but she definitely has an issue with relationships with men, like her dating life, because she's able to produce the 4 children, and we're unclear as to. It's none of our business. It's not necessarily pertinent to the show, but at the same time, there may be multiple fathers. She may not have been in a long-term relationship with some of those guys, and it may have been a Jared situation where she was attracted to them and gave up the cookies and wasn't thinking about them not actually wanting to be with her so much.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's I just hope that she doesn't take Kiki's advice and starts hitting the bottle heavily because that's not going to
Well,
help anything.
that's what she's doing in the picture.
Well, yeah. But this one time, but I'm just saying on an ongoing basis. I also wonder. I talked about, I wonder what her relationship is with her father. We saw her mother, having a video conversation with her. So clearly, her mother's in her life. Her mother seemed to be very sweet. But I wonder if her mother ever, in quiet times, just the two of them, pulls her aside and kind of asks her what's going on. Like, I love my grandkids, but you just had another one and another one, and like, what is really going on with you? Um, mm, yeah, I lost that thought, but I don't know. I do wonder. I do really wonder what. Does she have any girlfriends? Does she have any real true friends that aren't just yes men and yes women that will come to her and say, "Listen, Charlie, you got a great career. You got a beautiful big home with 6 bedrooms, but you ever think that maybe you might want to slow down with the children?"
Of course, but in that big house, it can seem quite lonely if there's no partner to share life with. So I think that's where she's That's why she's focused on, she's got the kids, she's got the money, she's got the career. So
Okay.
the one thing she doesn't have is that man to share life with. So that's
Mm,
why I think she's angling for Jared the way she is.
mm. Well, we're going to move on from that scene and we're going to talk about the next scene, which I found to be one of the best scenes of this whole entire episode. Let me get this. Sorry, Miss Wilson. Let me get that off the screen for a second. So we're talking about the Last Supper being here, but wait a minute. Hold on. Let me go back. It's before that. Her and
Alexis.
Alexis are having a conversation, and they're out talking about Jared and about her relationship with him. And she says, "Well, I don't know. He's just like he's such a perfect man. He checks off all the boxes." And Alexis asks her, "Well, what boxes does he actually check off?" "Well, I don't know. He just checks off all the boxes." And Alexis is trying to tell her. She says, "Well, look, you know what?" And then uh, Charli says, "Listen," she says, "you know what? He doesn't treat me the way he treats the other women. He doesn't tell me all the sweet stuff that he tells the other women. He just gives it to me straight with no chaser." And Alexis says, "Well, yeah, he's giving it to you straight with no chaser. Why? Because he knows you're willing to accept anything that he gives you." What did you think about that, JR, when you saw that scene?
I thought it was interesting. Alex coaching Charlie when Alexis, her situation, she's trying to, she's in the same situation. She's chasing Chris and trying to get something from Chris and all this stuff. And Chris has outright told her many.
Hello?
We lose you, JR, for a second.
Do we lose you? Do I need to click on your other JR?
No, we couldn't hear him under the other avatar.
Okay. Okay. I don't know what to do, JR.
Yeah.
Type in the
So
private chat. Oh, there
Oh,
he is.
JR, we are
yeah,
back. We
yeah, I'm
lost
back.
you for a
Sorry,
bit.
I told you guys my phone. Yeah. So I think Alexis was kind of empathizing with Charlie a little bit because she's going through the same thing with Chris to a degree. But yeah, it's just interesting to see her of all people coaching. She should take the hints that Chris has given her and listen to what he's saying, and she would be more in the wiser about moving forward.
Yeah, I think though, sometimes it's easier to see, like I've even had therapists to talk to me about this, like, so you can be a therapist and you can see other people's problems quite clearly and have insightful wisdom and advice to give to them. And meanwhile, back at home, right? Meanwhile, back at home, they always say it's the cobbler's kids that don't have any shoes, right? So I do think that she gave her good advice. You're right. She may not be able to see what Chris is doing to her, all of that. But in this instance, when they were talking, I felt like she really listened. She offered empathy, but at the same time, she tried to hold Charlie accountable. What do you think, Elsid?
I think Alexis also needs to listen to the words she's saying because she could be speaking to herself in a mirror right about
Exactly,
now while talking to Charlie.
100%.
But what disturbed me is Charlie says no one has ever treated her this well.
Oh
That-
yes, thank you for breaking that up. What did you think when she said that?
and maybe and maybe the minimum, it may be the minimum, but she sees it as amazing. It's like he's given you, as we would say, the dregs at the bottom of the barrel,
Very
and you're
direct, yes.
and you're thinking it's amazing, means he doesn't have to put much effort into anything. And my thing is, and y'all, pardon me, but what boxes is he checking? All he doing is checking out her box. I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
it.
sorry.
That's
That's
it.
all
That's
he
all.
doing.
That's it. That's all.
I
What has
think
he done?
I
Nothing
think you
but
have
give
to
it to
also
her.
I think you have to also acknowledge though that the more someone likes you, the less you have to do. You know,
Mm,
the more they dislike you, the more they make you jump over hoops and
mm.
pull magic tricks just to get the bare minimum back from them. We saw that with Ty and Brittany, right?
Okay. We did. You're right.
Yeah, she don't. If someone don't like you, they'll make you jump through hoops and still don't like you. You have to try and win them over with gifts or gestures. But if someone likes you, all the walls come down. There's no boundaries. You're just completely smitten with the person, and you want them, and you allow them to get away with certain things.
The privilege of it all. But she
Yeah.
also said, Charlie also said that she
Mhm.
will lose a friendship, and that's where I was like, "Where's the friendship in lying about having kids? How are you my friend, and I
Yeah.
didn't even tell you I have kids?"
Yes, that part. That part. Like I said, Charlie definitely has to take accountability. I can't side with Charlie just because she's a woman and I'm a woman. Charlie lied to this man for 4 years. And I'm just thinking, like, where is the, you're right. You're absolutely right, Elsie. Where's the friendship in that? Furthermore, where's the respect in that? And I
Hmm.
think because she didn't show him respect, and he doesn't feel like he has to show her any respect. Let me
Hmm.
just pose a question to everybody in the chat, and you too, especially too. Do you feel like you believed Jared or did not believe Jared? Put a 1 in the chat if you believe Jared. Put a 2 in the chat if you did not believe him. When he said that in his confessional that he was planning to move her in and her child, and he was all set to go. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe Jared when he said that, or 2 if you think he was just blowing more smoke. What do you think, Jr.?
No, because we haven't come to it yet. But they play a game, and he talks about his views on monogamy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think you could move someone into your house with child, because he knew she had one, and then he's got 2 children that he knows of or whatever. So you're gonna have 3 children in the house. You're gonna move her in, but yet you don't believe in monogamy. So no, I call BS. I don't think he was being genuine. I think it was just another platitude.
I mean, Jr., we could be trying for a poly family now. Come on now,
Ooh.
but
Well, with
but
sister wives and all of that.
there you go. But I don't believe that he I think he said that, but I don't think he considered that, knowing that he just had a baby with someone and he was coming in there wondering if Charlie would accept it. He's still
Yeah,
trying to navigate fatherhood with somebody. I don't know if it's the same person, but I know Jared has 2 kids, and someone on the internet saying he has more than that. But
Ooh.
he trying to navigate with, a mother of a newborn. So no.
right. Exactly, having a 6-month-old child, but yet you're planning to move Charlie in. So she's now got to deal with this new baby mother, and this relationship he just come out of, or whatever situation it was. Nah, I don't believe it.
He'll get bored. He'll get bored.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah, I didn't believe him either when he said that. I mean, I thought it. Who was it that said platitude? Just another platitude. That kind of sit with me. I
Mhm.
agree with that. Um, so we're at the dinner now. We move over to the dinner, and everybody is getting ready for this last supper. Uh, they're going around the table and they're talking about their experiences and how they feel about one another and as a group. And you got Keke over here. She's saying, I learned so much about myself and how I operate in a relationship. And of course, my eyes were just rolling up. They almost popped out of my head. They were rolling up so high. I'm like, what? You learn so much about yourself and how you are in a relationship. I learned, well, I'm not going to even talk about the braces. I'm not going to say nothing about the braces and the thumb sucking because that's just not going to work. But nevertheless, I don't know that I felt like Keke learned anything during this whole 3 week situation. What do you think? You jumped in there. Come on. What do you think, Elsit?
I think Kiki learned that she and Brandon ain't gonna work. I think she learned that she need to be with a party dude and not someone who gon' check her glass. I think
Right.
she learned that I hope she learned that carrying 2 relationships at the same time ain't it. And she is not gonna come out of this clean.
Mm-mm. No, no, she's not. What about you, Jr.? Did you see?
Uh,
Anything that Keke really got from this whole process? Did she grow
No,
from it? Did you
not
see growth?
really.
Okay.
The only I I think
Keke was
you know,
on vacation, right?
yeah, exactly. She treated that well, I would say she didn't even learn from that, but she treated the whole thing like a vacation instead of an actual a series of dates and meetups with the guy that she'd been talking to online for 4 years. She was much more about drinking and partying and having a good time and sleeping in and things like that. Um, but I'm not sure what she takes away from this. Maybe, if you're going to two-time someone, then I don't know, like you need to fess up and be real and just accept that you just hurt two people and it's going to cost you your relationships. So, other than that, I don't think she took away anything. She's still going to be drinking to, I guess, cope with the losses she's had because she did intimate that she lost her mom, she lost her ex, and now she doesn't want to lose Brandon, and because he's her support person. So, I'm not even sure she's going to even change anything about that. By the way she carried on.
Yes. Okay. I think you hit a lot of good points. Um, we had Taronda come in and basically let the what they call the Elite Eight, right? I think that was that
Mm-hmm.
Cinco that called them the Elite Eight. She let them know that she thought they had done a good job and that now was the time for them to decide. They had a very big decision coming up tomorrow, and that's to decide whether or not you're gonna leave the house with your person or you're gonna go your separate ways.
Mhm.
What did you guys think while we got Tyranda up on the screen? What did you guys think personally, like from what we saw? We know the show is edited. How well do you think Tyranda did with the activities and various things? How do you feel like she did on a scale of 1 to 10? What would you give her, Jr.?
In terms of making money for brief appearances, 10.
Okay. What about with the couples? Do you feel
Um,
like she helped with the activities? You remember the first activity was the consent, you know, giving consent with
yeah,
the body paint and whatnot.
yeah. Well, I don't know if she moderated that as well as I think she should have,
Okay.
because there were people that were not getting consent first before doing things, and she was kind of jokingly, while also taking shade, admonishing rather than flat out saying, no, look, that's going against the rules of this particular challenge. So I think she did a good job in terms of introducing the challenges or the games or the dates or informing them of what events were coming up, but or timelines or whatever. But
Okay.
yeah, I think she got paid very well for pretty much 2-minute appearances on each show that she appeared on, right? So
Don't be
Yeah.
hating on Taronda.
Yeah, that's where
nah,
my
that's a great job
disappointment.
though.
Yeah, that's where my disappointment lies is with production. We didn't see as much of her as we did last time.
Yeah, true.
And she was more, really the comedic relief and the kind of person balancing everybody out.
Yes.
The fashions were fashioning, even though some I didn't understand, but that's because I'm not a fashion girl. But I wish I'd seen more of her, and then we only got one expert, Dr. Ali. I'm not saying nothing with Dr. Ali, but the last season we had multiple experts that for each of the different couples, and I liked that showcase and perspective.
Right, but
Yeah.
you know what? Those
Hmm.
all those experts last season couldn't salvage the relationships that faltered at the end, right?
Are they there
So,
for appearances or to salvage relationships?
well, both. I think it was the point
Okay.
giving the advice to the couples if it doesn't help save the relationships.
Can we
So,
save a relationship in one session?
no, but who says they have
Yeah.
to have one session? They could have regular weekend check-ins, like what's the show we watch? Maths.
Ma-
They could have a
Math
weekly check-in.
Australia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? That's an interesting thought. That is a very interesting thought about the weekly check-ins, which we would have seen Dr. Alley. It seems like what we saw was her basically getting together with each couple, depending on what where their need was, right? Like so, when
Mhm.
one couple needed her, she went in and talked to that couple. I appreciated Dr. Alley. I think she did as best she could for like you said, one session. It's not everything you're going to accomplish in one session, you know. Uh, what
Right.
what what
Yeah.
what do you
I
say,
But
like
El?
that's
that. I like Dr. Ali. I really do like her. She what we the edited pieces we see of her, she asked some really in-depth questions that some of these people never asked themselves.
right.
Yep.
So wouldn't it have been valuable to have that on a more regular basis, to help these couples see it through, right? And be successful. Not saying that her advice specifically would have changed their behavior, because you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But still, I think one session, like you guys said, it's not going to do enough. It's not going to be enough time with those couples to, first of all, see how they have progressed or if they haven't, and then change their plan. If they, if something isn't working, tweak some things to see if you can, uh, you know, try and make it work another way. Like one
Hmm.
session is not enough.
Especially for people who never met each other before.
Exactly. I agree.
Hmm. That's a good point. I'm going to need your help, El Cid, with the questions. Um,
Mm. With
coming.
translating Chris.
Yeah. No. Well. Yeah. With what the actual questions were too. So we move over to the question segment, and they're told that if you if you're voting yes, you're going to show the green side of your paddle. If you're voting no, you're going to show the red side. Um,
Can arguing be healthy in a relationship?
yes, these
That
two
was.
said yes. It can
Hmm.
be. It can be healthy. Um,
Do you want kids?
wait, let me see if I got that one. Hold on, hold on a sec, because that's funny. That okay? Here we go. Uh, oh wait a minute. I'm sorry. Nope, that's not the one for kids.
No,
They both said no. They both said no. I'm sorry, I didn't put that in here. They
that's
both
okay.
Jared and Charlie both said no. And then somebody said, "But why?" And then they kind of caught themselves. They said, "Oh yeah, I know why. Because they already got 6 kids between the two
Mm,
of them.
Hmm.
So like,
mm,
how many more kids do you want? Are you guys going to live on a farm? Are the kids going to be farm hands or whatever? Like, what's going on here? Like
Hmm.
that. They already got 6 kids now. So and if they and they both seem to be pretty young and fairly, active, quote unquote.
mm.
So
Fertile.
very fertile and very active, quote unquote. So so now how many more kids, like, if they wanted to have their own kids, like, oh, they're gonna have 2 3 more and make it 9? Like, what's going on here? Are we gonna be able to afford them? Are we gonna have time for each one of them individually? Like, to me, that's the question. When nowadays, when you have children, do you have the resources? Do you have the time? Do you have the emotional energy and wherewithal to have all of these children when you get past 2 or 3?
Right. Jared said no already.
Hmm.
Right,
So
right. And he did. But now the question, okay, go ahead,
The
Elsie.
next question is: would you share your password with your partner?
Now everybody said no on that one, so I'm gonna go. Yeah.
Brandon and Jay were the only ones that said no.
Oh, okay. I thought everybody said no on that one.
They were looking. Brandon's like, you know what? He can't trust you. He can't. You're gonna be looking for stuff. And Jay said no. It should be trust. I ain't got to have you looking all up in my stuff.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
And
Next,
then we get to the monogamy. Do you believe in monogamy?
here we go. Finally, the monogamy. Suspenseful music playing.
Dun
Uh,
dun dun.
dun, dun, dun. And Jared, of course, says he got a smirk on his face. That's the killer part. Jared can say just about anything with a smile on his face. And I've always been scared of people that can say just about anything. Like, I mean, and it could be some mean, cold stuff, and they still got a smile or a smirk on their face. It's giving like psycho vibes for me. It's giving those psycho vibes. But he says, no, he doesn't believe in monogamy. And here's Charlie. She's saying, oh yeah, oh heck yeah. Which I kind of question, because while she was talking to him for 4 years, she went out and had this affair with this strange guy that she didn't know.
With his name tattooed on her body.
Right, right,
Exactly.
right. Sacrilegious, sacrilegious. I say it. Sacrilegious, just awful. Well, what did you guys think of? Were we surprised? First of all, were we surprised that Jared doesn't believe in monogamy? Was anybody surprised? Put a 1 in the chat if you were surprised, and put a 2 in the chat if you weren't surprised. JR, were you surprised at all?
Yes, I was, because I was thinking, well, what the hell are you doing on the show? Like, what are you doing? The fact is that he came to meet Charli, and if we had a scenario where it was just the one child that he knew about, and he agreed to come on the show to meet her finally after 4 years, did he not expect to have a monogamous relationship with her then?
Right. What was the whole purpose of them even coming on the show?
Exactly.
Good point. Good point.
So, yeah, I was surprised that he even said that. And then the stupid excuse, no, it wasn't even excuses. I don't know. He just said some confusing things after that to try and justify it. And even the group were confused. They're like, what are you talking about?
He said, well, like nothing lasts forever. And then
Right.
he said, well, what do you mean by that? He said, well, people die. And then,
Right.
They questioned him on that, said, no, I don't think you meant that. He's like, well, what are you, a mind reader?
Exactly.
Yeah. And he said, and then someone said, well, but what if you lose interest? He says, well, it could happen either way. She could lose interest, or I could lose interest. How did you feel about that, Elsie? Do you feel like he was being forthcoming with that line of questioning?
No, I think Jared got caught in a corner because he thought he would not be the only person with that red paddle up. And so he had to pivot. And his pivot was not as clean as we would like. He thought if somebody else got to be red too. I ain't gonna say only a man, but it could be a woman up in there because but he got caught. And he's like, dang, we got bored. Nothing lasts forever. Somebody may pass away before due time. So but that ain't about monogamy. If somebody passes away, or if you are bored and you move on to someone else, that is still monogamy.
Correct.
I mean, does he know the definition? While I'm questioning Chris's literacy, now I gotta question Jared's literacy.
But I thought Jared was the one that worked at a college. So I don't know.
That don't mean he reads college level books.
Right. That could mean he could be in maintenance. We don't know. And I'm not trying to be shady, but we don't know. We don't know.
Could be the school janitor or something. You don't know.
He could be security.
He could be security. We don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. So with that being said, Charli, she said, oh, wait a minute. What do you mean he can't commit to somebody? Are you effing kidding me? But I mean, like, Charli, are you surprised? And you yourself don't seem to be very good at monogamy for cheating on him. So I don't know. But we're gonna move on to the next couple. We got Chris and we got Alexis, and they're in the kitchen, and she really wants to know, like, we should go to the Boom Boom room. I feel like we should go to the Boom Boom room. But Chris is holding out on her. Does anybody understand why Chris is so tough at holding out on her? And she's beginning to think, well, if it's a no, she said, I'm going to start preparing like it's a no, because to me, when it's indifference, I take it as a no. And that's one thing I wish that could have been said to Charli. Like, if he's indifferent or he's sending mixed messages, just learn to start taking those things as a no and plan accordingly.
All I saw when I saw Alexis is I kept on thinking of Anita Baker's Good Love. I want to know what good love feels like. Ooh. That's all I kept seeing when I saw her. She just wants some good love from Chris.
Yeah.
And Chris is withholding, as is his right to say no.
It is. It absolutely is.
He's not giving us a definition other than he talked to God and he told him not to go there.
Right. He's not saying for what reason he feels like maybe they shouldn't be doing this. Like, I don't understand.
Right. Maybe this is too fast. Maybe I don't want to get intimate with you now, and we haven't talked about where we're going to live and be closer together. It could be any reason, but Chris is not given a reason other than country grammar. Shout out Nelly. But I mean, come on.
He's not. I feel like he's very aware of the power he has over her, especially after he sent that glorious peen pic. And I'm assuming it must be glorious. I didn't see it, by the way.
But the power over her, and she ain't even experienced the peen.
No, but she saw it. Wait a minute, that's what I'm about to say. He sent her a glorious peen pic, and she is all in. Look at her. Look at her.
And
She's
Aubrey,
she's
that only lasts but so long. If you can't experience it, I'm gonna have to move on, move it along.
but that's you and I. That's you and I. But her, she is looking at him. Look at this picture. She is looking at him like she could just literally eat him up. Okay.
Yes, morning, noon, and night. Anita Baker said it. That is what I saw that's what I heard when I saw this. I was like, she down for the cause. She is mooning over, and she ain't got nothing.
And don't you guys recall when she said a while back? She said when her guest came to visit, she said, "I ain't never had to work this hard for a young boy before."
And the friend brought the condiments, and she didn't even use them.
Exactly. That's why I think she wanted to go to the boom boom room. She's like, I've got all these prophylactics. I haven't used one, Chris. Come on, you know? And the thing is, he flip-flopped. At first, he said he was down to go to the boom boom room. Then he changed his mind. So,
and he's entitled to. He's entitled
he's entitled to. But I think the problem is that she's frustrated. And she's like, listen, this is what she came here for. And she hasn't got it. So, yeah, I think he's, on the one hand, told her that he's not interested, but he flip-flopped this episode.
Oh, he definitely flip-flopped. He flip-flopped not only, but I mean, in just this scene right here we're talking about, he flip-flopped about, well, we can do it. I'm ready to do it. No, I'm not ready to do it.
Exactly.
He's back and forth. So, and which is his right. Let me make that clear.
But that's what she wants him to do, be back and forth, okay?
She does?
In and out, up and down.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Aubrey.
Oh, dear.
The nerve, the audacity. Yeah, she definitely wants him to be back and forth. I see that. She definitely clearly wants him to be back and forth. But any guesses? And we're gonna just take a quick guess before we move on. Any guesses as to why he has decided so far not to go to the boom boom room with Alexis? JR?
The only thing I go to is he may not want to do it on television, just in case he meets someone else, and then they're like, hey, I saw you get down with someone on TV, and use that against him. That's the only reason I think he wouldn't do it.
Okay. Very good. Elsie, what about you?
He may be thinking, this woman is already so far gone over you. Shout out Monica. She's so far gone over him over a picture. And now, if I lay it on her, I never get rid of her.
That's true. She'll be there for life.
Yeah.
And then you have to deal with the controlling side of it. Maybe he's scared that the controlling side of her might come out even more if they do go to that boom boom room. You know, she might get more emotionally attached, leading to more control and leading to more triggering of its past traumas and stuff.
And right now he has control.
Oh, that's a good point. Control matters. Control matters. Yeah, I could see that. Well, guys, we get to the final day. We get to the final day in the house, and Brandon decides it's time for him to really talk to Keke. Takes her in the living room. They sit down, just the two of them, and he says, I really feel like it's best that we just go our separate ways. I thought that he was right to the point. I thought that he did not treat her meanly or cruelly, and that he just said what he needed to say, matter of fact. And looks like Keke, and at least from her body language, it looks like she's like, "How dare you?" What did you think about this scene, Jr.?
Yeah, she seemed quite surprised that he said no and he wants to go home. And again, she started with the kind of deflection tactics or trying to play a guilt trip, and
Right.
he wasn't having it. So his mind's made up. He said he was going to take some time to think about it. On the way back from their date, he said, "Listen, we drove past the Dodger Stadium. We drove past, other things that we could have done, but she couldn't make it up to him." And I don't think I've ever seen Keke actually say she was sorry for
That part.
having him as a side piece. I don't think
That
she's ever apologized so far.
No, we never saw it on camera.
No,
We never did. No.
no.
And in fact, I feel like she actually, to your point, Jerry, I felt like not only did we not see her apologize, I felt like she actually started to gaslight Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Elsie, what are your thoughts about these two and his
Okay.
decision?
For the decision to sit it on the couch for us to talk about our decision, for me is lackluster. We could have been anywhere but the couch. It just was just lackluster is what I started off this talking about. So
Well, should he took her outside for a walk and been
I'm
in nature?
saying
Like,
I'm saying they brought more than one good outfit there. We could have had said our goodbyes, not even in a big outfit, but it could be more than our gym clothes. Okay. Ugh. So anyway, I was distracted. I'm like, is Brandon making this decision before the decision moment? And then I realized this is the moment. I'm like,
this is the
dude,
moment. Yeah.
dude, this just ain't it. We could have been standing by the pool even. Give us some nice backdrop or something. But anyway, what we saw was Brandon wasn't, hyper and disrespectful or whatever to Keke.
No.
What we did see him, his trauma come to the surface about the drinking and stuff like that. But I think he made the right decision. We need to go our separate ways. We do need therapy. We both need things about ourselves to heal. And then Keke flipped the script and like, oh no, you the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You the problem. You are the one that got an issue. And I'm like, wait a minute. She mentioned, she's like, yeah. You are moody and she don't want to dance all over his triggers. I'm like, is this edited or did Keke just not realize issues that she may have to work on? Like honesty and truth. Because at this point, even if Brandon had a little side piece that he was knocking out every other weekend, I really don't care. He was not living with anyone or engaged.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I'm with you on that. If it's how many weren't they the ones that were also 4 years or something like that?
Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah. 4 years and I'm their age, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. So, like you said, if he's having somebody on the side or whatever on the weekends or whatever, but the point is when they came together. But for her to be actually living with the man, that's a whole, to me, that maybe it's just me, but that excuse me, that's a whole nother level of commitment, if I say so.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where the deflection comes in, because every time Brandon says something like that, she always refers to you, oh, well, you're not Mr. Perfect. Look at the way you talk to me. You're angry all the time. You're this, that, the other. And she never actually takes the time to acknowledge what he said and then say, show some contrition about it. So she invalidates his feelings in a way, because he's telling her, like you said, matter of factly. In fact, Brandon's been pretty straightforward the whole season.
Yes, he really is.
So,
I admire him.
Right. So, but when he's speaking now and he's giving her his truth, she quickly dismisses it by saying, "Oh, well, you look at you and look at what you did," and yeah. So she doesn't. I think she just wanted the idea of him, not actually him. She doesn't like the way he speaks to her and whatnot, and
she doesn't like the way he, JR, to your point, I don't think she likes the way he holds her accountable. That's the other.
Nah, she doesn't like. She definitely doesn't like that. And that's why she gets so defensive about it as well.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Like I said, I love the fact that, because oftentimes when people break up or I don't know if it's called a breakup with these two, but they decide not to move forward and progress with the relationship, one or the other has negative things to say, and now we're throwing all kinds of things at this person, and making them feel bad. But I think he felt like he just did what he needed to do, because he said, I cannot have a relationship with someone that I don't trust. And I think that's very valid. I think if Jared, in fact, now, if we were to overlay this onto Jared and Charli, that's something Jared could have said to Charli right from the get go when he found out, right?
Yeah, but he
Yeah,
was having his own child. I mean, come on now.
that's true.
True. True. That's true. Yeah, you're right. A
That's
little,
true.
little different situation there. You're right. You're right about
Yeah.
that.
Brandon's the only one with clean hands, as far as we've seen. So he has a
Yeah.
right to say that, whereas
But
Jared doesn't.
here's my thing. Here's what I really, really kind of hurt me with Keke, and I think she may need to tap into this herself.
Hmm.
It's like she's kind of resenting Brandon for not only having emotion but showing his emotion. And it's
Yes.
Exactly.
like I feel like
Yes.
if Brandon or any man, in this case is Brandon, if Brandon has an emotion and he feels like crying in front of her, that she won't embrace it. It may be belittled. Like he's not emotionally safe with her in showing emotion.
Mm. Very good point. Very good observation, because I couldn't put my finger quite on it, but I think you just hit it on the head. Um, it's like she's the only one that can have emotions in this relationship, and that's not right.
No, it's not.
If we're saying that we want him to create a safe space for our feelings as women, then our man should be able to also expect the same from us, a safe space, right?
Correct.
But
So
Kiki,
that's why I think she's quite self-centered. She
she
doesn't
is.
really consider his feelings like that.
She does. She does. Kiki gives very immature vibes. She gives very immature. We know that, yes, she lost her mother. She's had some trauma in her life, but I can't say this enough. When you've had trauma or gone through some things, you as an adult have every right to go and get help. Don't continue to take out your trauma on other people, because Brandon, from everything we saw, we know it's edited, Brandon seemed to have been a good dude. He seemed to have been a good dude, and he seemed to have really liked Kiki.
Yeah. Yeah. All we saw, the outburst we saw was at the table. If that's as bad as it got, then I'm okay with it.
Okay, now which outburst are you referring to?
When he
Let's
was
see.
at the table and he stood up and was talking to her about her drinking, and she haven't you said you wouldn't drink today and you haven't wine right now.
Yeah, yeah, okay, that early on,
Yep.
yes, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and if that you're right, if that's as bad as it got, you know, because she certainly had stuff to say to him, and a lot of it, in my opinion, just my simple opinion, a lot of it, one episode when they were sitting at the kitchen table, a lot of it was gaslighting. She was just basically gaslighting him.
And it sounds like Kiki's a lot of tit for tat. Well, I did
Petty.
this and you must have done something.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. That is very true. um we move over to this couple here, and while they have the green paddle up, they also gave each other the green paddle and the green light that we are going to be together. And I just thought it was so interesting to me that Jay says, you know what, he's been in love with me for a long time. We're in love, but he's been in love with me longer than I have. And I was just like, okay, all right, Jay, that attitude is going to be the downfall of the relationship, I feel like. What did you think, JR?
Mm, yeah, she's very cocky, if you want to call it that. Very
Yeah.
smug. But again, they've earned the right to be. They've had the least troubles, and have gotten the best in terms of their connection. Been pretty solid the whole way through. So I can see why she's quite smug about it, but I just don't think we needed to necessarily. I don't think that helps. Rubbing everybody's face in it like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
I think
they're happy. If you look at their body language, look how close they are. He's got his arm
Very
around
close.
her. They're smiling. So yeah, that's the opposite of what we're seeing from the other couples.
For the
So
other couples. That's true. That's true. Well, we've been seeing, at least I'll say speak for myself only. I've been seeing that he is very smitten with this woman, to what she's
mhm,
saying about him being in love. He's very smitten with her. And
mhm,
what I loved about him as a man, he even was open to telling the other couples, I love her. He told Charlie one day, when Charlie said, "Oh, I just love
mhm,
her." And
yep,
he said, "Oh yeah, me too." He was very open about how he felt about her. He didn't try to hide it. He didn't try to downplay it. It's like, yeah, I love her. This is my girl. I'm riding with her. What did you
right,
think of it?
I thought it was when she said it. I thought it was like when couples have the cutesy kind of talk of you love me first, you love me more. I didn't put much weight to it other than that, and especially since Cinco got a good chuckle out of it, he didn't deny it. He
No, he
didn't
didn't.
deny it at all. He,
He
he
didn't deny it.
indulged his woman.
Yeah. Yes, she is, Miss Wilson. Yeah, no, you're right. It was kind of like, I mean, they didn't say this in front of the other couples. This was in their confessional, obviously, but they let Jared and Charlie know, yeah, we're leaving here together. And he said, oh, yeah. He said, we better be leaving here together. So you're right. They both were kind of like having that same kind of confidence about each other, which is a good thing. That is a good thing.
Hmm.
And we love to see it. At least one couple made it out still together.
mhm,
Uh, Looking for, hold on. This couple here, surprisingly, they decided to have a go at it. So, what did you think about their decision, Jr.?
yeah. This one confused me. I'm not sure what Chris is aiming to do, but like I said, maybe he wants to continue their relationship off TV and see if it develops there, and maybe more intimacy will come. But um, other than that, I can't see why he would say yes, and I can't see why she would say yes because she didn't get the intimacy that she was looking for the whole time, and she did intimate that she was frustrated with that. So, mm, I was it'd be intriguing to see what the reunion says for these two and how it worked out for them or not.
Yeah, that will be interesting. I'm wondering, I think you said something earlier, JR, that kind of stuck with me, is that perhaps Chris doesn't want to do anything with her on screen because,
Yes.
yeah, because he has, he wanted to kind of keep that neutral. What do you think, Elsie, about these two?
I think with these two, it's screaming to me that maybe Chris was faithful to someone back home. I don't know, but I don't
Maybe Maya from RTL.
right, really don't know. But there's no real commitment. There's no commitment. There's no progress. She felt very, Alexis felt very drawn to me. Like she kind of gave up fighting for this, kind of. Like how they say the old people would say how collard greens just cook all the way down and just shrink. That's the word I'm looking for.
She was
She
shrinking. Yeah.
yeah, she felt like she very shrink and her personality was very mute at the end. Even when he was saying let's leave together, the Alexis who came here first would have been yay awesome, da, 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 this is what I wanted, this is what I wanted, but she's like okay, we could do that. It was very bewildering to me for Alexis to be like that when he gave her what she wanted, which was to leave together.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. Like you said, all of these couples, it was like a little bit. And I just thought about something. I want to ask you guys this. One and two in the chat. JR, are you still with us? Are you still with us? You coming back? Maybe he's coming back.
Maybe he's
But
coming back. Maybe please don't come back with no do rag like Chris did. I'm sorry.
oh God, you forget. Oh, I was about to say. Okay, so now to your point about things being lackluster, how do you guys, and you guys in the chat, and if you're watching us on replay, drop down in the comment section, please, and answer this question. How do you think, here he is, how do you think it would have been, Jay, I don't know if you can hear me now. I was just asking the question, put a 1 in the chat. Well, first of all, let me ask the question. Do you guys think it would have been better if the decisions had been done, like, let's say around the table with Taronda, kind of facilitating it and asking each couple by couple or person by person? Do you think it would have had a lot more oomph to it if it had been done in front of the other couples, as opposed to them kind of separating off and the way they did it? Because I kind of see your point, Elsie. What do you think, JR?
No, I don't think it would have made much difference. I don't think it would have made any difference at all, in fact.
Okay.
No.
All right. Elsie?
We could have decisions last night and today. We could have had it after dinner and all kinds of stuff. But I don't think I would have liked that setup because I mean, she could take them one at a time to the gazebo or whatever, and ask them questions. She could be for more camera time, because this was very lackluster. It was like, ugh. But Chris and Alexis were the only ones, I think, that dressed appropriately for a decision-making moment, except for his do-rag. But it was the picturesque mountains behind them. They were well dressed. I think they were the only ones that I felt like it was a decision moment.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay. All right. And last but not least, they're asking Alexis, Alexis is asking Charli, does she know what she's going to say? Jared takes her out, and they're at the gazebo, and he's telling her, well, it's going to have to be a no dog. It's going to have to be a no dog for me. And she's like, well, I feel like you just kind of dragged me. You kind of dragged me along. I feel like you wasted my time. And to which I wanted to say, no, dog, he did not waste your time. You wasted your own time. You made these choices not to tell him about your other kids, to sleep with this other man and have another baby, and then come and tell him and expect him to think all of this is okay. You wasted your own time. How do you feel about it, JR?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. She can't blame it all on Jared because she orchestrated some of this herself. So I can see why she's mad, because she felt like she was strung along and this, that, the other. Because he was stringing her along.
Oh, yeah.
But I also think she needs to look at herself, because she was told for at least the last 3 or 4 episodes, we've seen him specifically say that, he's either not looking to pursue a relationship, undecided, not interested in monogamy. Like, there's so many different things he said. And she's outraged when he says it. Like, I can't believe he said that. And then she still goes into this this trance where she's like, well, I'm going to see what he says.
I wonder what he means.
I'm hoping I can win him over. I'm hoping I can change him into the man I want him to be.
Right.
No, I'm telling you who he is.
I wonder what he means by that when he says no.
Yeah.
I wonder, does he really mean no, or does he kind of mean maybe? Like, I was like, girl, you talked yourself into a lot of this.
Exactly.
One, you're not using women's intuition, which I do believe we have. And I do believe that she knew, that she felt like, but she was in denial of her own feelings. She was in denial of her own truth. And she was in denial of what he was saying to her. She's not listening. She doesn't want to hear him say no.
The intuition compass is not always pointing in the right direction. All right. It's not always correct.
Yeah. That could be too. Elsie, what did you think about her? Was she right that Jared just totally wasted her time?
It's a classic case of the man been telling you in so many words, but it doesn't translate. He's been telling you over and over, even in his behavior. Heck, Brittany ain't give it up, and she got breakfast in bed, and she got a whole crab broil. But, here you are, crack-a-lacking, and Jared ain't doing much of anything.
Crack-a-lacking.
So I mean, cracking and it's lacking. Okay, because what is going on here is that she is, you took me through this, you dragged me through this. It's like, no, young lady, you had to be a willing participant. Jared could only take you but so far.
That's correct.
Jared can only take you but so far. Jared, he said what he got to say, but you did not protect yourself even a little bit for him being full of crap.
Yeah. Hopefully
And
they did protect themselves though in the other like
Yes,
literal sense
capacity.
too. Capacity, yes.
Mhm.
Physical.
and
ahead.
she's acting as if she didn't have a secret of her own, which completely changed the whole complexion of their relationship anyway.
Absolutely. Very good point. No real accountability after she said it. Like, okay, she said it, and then he said he had his one, but then we don't hear any more discussion or owning up to, well, you know what, Jared, I know I kind of really changed things by coming here with 3 additional kids. No real owning up to that anymore.
Uh,
Like we just gonna forget about that. But
exactly.
that's a very intricate part of the situation. If someone is going to get serious with you and you guys are going to join your fate together, move in together, whether it's her house or his place or whatever, that I think as a man he has every right to feel like that these 4 children are also going to be his responsibility. I think he has every right to think like that. But I don't know that Jared, being that he's saying that he's not monogamous and all these other things, I think that he's also kind of shown us 2 different sides of him. And I don't know what that's about, but maybe we'll find out on the reunion, guys. What did you notice about the reunion highlights that we saw? Uh, somebody's gas.
Women on one side, men on another.
Okay, right. The way they had them set up, not couples, not even the 2 couples that left together. Um, Also, I think there was some mention of gaslighting. I wonder, and the guys were saying it. I wonder who they were talking about.
Mm. It could be at least 3 of them up there. The
Exactly.
gaslighting.
Mhm.
I almost can't think of her name. I'm looking at this picture right
Alicia.
now, guys. Is that Alicia up there at the top with the
With the
blonde?
short
Okay,
hair, with the
short hair.
with the church lady organist wig on.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, that's Alicia because I almost didn't know. Now I know Tatiana up there also in the middle, and then of course Jay over to the right. We've got Keke down on the first row. We've got Alexis. I think Alexis.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we got what's
Brittany.
Brittany, and then we've got over at the end where we're kind of covering her face right there is
Charlie.
Charlie.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
Mhm. Go ahead.
if Alicia's got the church organist wig on, what wig does Brittany have on?
Hmm.
That's to else it.
Brittany's got on the oh gosh, I just lost her name. Oh gosh, I just lost her name.
Ariel.
No, it ain't the Ariel wig on, but
Okay.
Boomerang. What was that actress's name?
Oh.
Tyson's ex-wife,
Oh, Robin Givens.
Robin Givens.
Robin Givens. The
Oh.
old Robin Givens wig part down the middle.
Okay. I can see that. I can see that.
What do you say? Oh my goodness.
I actually like her hair. I mean, in this photo right here, I actually like her hair, and I think it gives her face some length. And I noticed people were talking earlier and some other when she was still on the show about this face to neck ratio and the broad shoulders, but
There is none. There's no neck there.
right, it's there because look, there's a necklace. There's a whole necklace right there, guys. So she does have a neck. I think with some people, what happens is if you've got a person, particularly with a woman, if they've got those straight across broad shoulders like that and a little neck, it does look like they don't have a neck because you just see shoulders and a head.
The neck
But
is the length. The neck is the width of that necklace.
Well,
Lord.
maybe Pilates, maybe Pilates. I'm not trying to body shame. And moving over to our
You
girl.
men are too concerned with a woman's neck.
No, no, no. I'm not concerned about
Well, no.
Brittany.
I'm being very rude, Jr.
Oh, okay.
What about and we got over here. Now I didn't like this color on her, on Charlie. I felt like that color makes her look washed out.
Yeah.
I felt like that. And over to my girl Keke. Uh Keke, Keke is fly. The outfit and the makeup makes her look a little bit older, but I think she's pretty fly though. What do you think, El Cid?
Yeah, Kiki looks like she's aged a bit, just like Alicia, the short wig, looked like she's aged a bit.
I think it's that wig that makes her look aged, but yeah.
Yeah, Tati and Jay are my favorite looks, followed by Alexis.
Okay. I can see that. And Alexis, I was going to say, I thought Alexis cleaned up pretty nicely. I really did. I think she cleaned up very nicely. What do you think, JR?
I think Charlie's going for the Little Mermaid or Jessica Rabbit. And I think Keke, I don't know.
We don't have, I'm sorry guys, I do not have the photo of the men on the reunion.
You don't have a photo of Clay's brow sweating?
As Tatiana so graciously pointed out, I think I want to see the two of them, what they're going to be talking about. That's going to be interesting to me. I want to see, of course, the two couples that walked away together, Jay and Cinco and Alexis and Chris. I want to know if they're still together, or they're still working on things, and if they are still together, did Alexis ever get her some? You know.
I'll be interested to see if Jay and Cinco are still together. Chris and Alexis, I don't have much hope for, but it would be interesting to see what happened. Anybody else? I don't know. I'm kind of interested to see Jared and Charlie where they are now as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I
want to know if Irvin got in touch with the ex.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Not Alicia, the guy, the Haitian guy. Yeah.
Irvin, Alicia. Remember you talking about? Oh, there's this ex. She got in contact with me. Blah 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 blah. And I'm hoping they also show Irvin, the man, laughing at him for being so emotional.
Yeah, because I thought, he was saying, he told Chris at one point, not Chris, he told Jared, he said, man, I didn't mean to make you emotional, but I was like, nah, he wasn't emotional like you thought. He was laughing at you, boo. He was laughing at you.
I also want to see Clavossier actually and Tatiana, because I want to see what happened with a friend who was someone he was with at one point in time, but came on as his best friend. I wonder if they're aware, if Tatiana's aware of that now.
Hey, well, Jared and Charlie are best friends, so it could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wink, wink, wink. Okay, guys, tell us where we can find you. JR, starting with JR, where we can find you, and let the people know a little bit about yourself. And I want to thank you.
Okay.
I want to thank both of you for being here. You have made this so much fun, the two of you. Go ahead, JR.
I'm fun. You can find me on JRX TV on Instagram, and Life is Reality on YouTube. YouTube, I cover relationship shows on the OWN network predominantly, but do other things like Love is Blind and a few other shows. On Instagram, it's more my page where.
Hello? Did I lose both of you? Aubrey? Okay, we're back.
Yes, we're back. I'm sorry, JR.
JR, you were telling people where to find you on IG.
I was playing with something, trying to do something to highlight JR, and instead, oh wait a minute, I think I may have the wrong JR.
You have the wrong JR.
Which one?
Yeah, you got it. You can find me on
We gotta
Derek's
stop
TV
being
on
like this.
IG
Okay.
and Life is Reality on YouTube,
Okay.
covering reality dating shows, predominantly on the OWN network, but also a few others. And then on Instagram, it's more like health and fitness and well-being stuff. So check me out and like, share, and subscribe, and give a follow. It doesn't cost anything.
It sure does, and it's free 99. Thank you for that, JR. El Cid,
Well, I am LCid932 on YouTube. Like Life is Reality, I cover mainly Love is Blind, the international versions and the US version, but I love to see how people date in different parts of the world. I also cover Married at First Sight Australia. Absolutely love it. What Aubrey and I are doing on Tuesdays at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is Somebody's Son. And we had a double header last night. It's going to be spicy come Tuesday. Got lots to say.
I can't wait.
I also do unsolicited advice where people on the internet ask us for our advice and we give it, and we do get spicy over there. I have unscripted where my chat decides what we want to talk about. That's on Fridays. But right now, ongoing show is Alone on the History Channel, where survivalists have to survive in the African plains, in the African desert. I'm excited. Girl power is in full effect. A girl has caught a fish. A girl has caught a warthog. And one of the men have tapped out already in the first episode.
Get out of here. Definitely girl power.
Well, come on over, Babs. My recap of the first episode is already on my channel. I love that show because I know I can do it. I ain't a survivalist.
Okay, yeah, definitely, Babs. Definitely go over and check that show out, because I've been wanting to watch it. I'm definitely going to come over and support you and check out that show, because it's something I'm not familiar with, but it sounds very, very interesting. Oh, wait a minute. Babs says she's watched all 11 seasons. Get out of here, Babs. Oh my goodness.
And Babs, there's an Alone Australia and there's an Alone Germany too. So I have watched those two, but I want to focus on the American one, which we usually do winter areas, but this time they're doing the heat of Africa, where there are flies, there are baboons, following them. There are poisonous snakes and other things around that they got to cope with.
Okay. All right, guys, please go ahead and hit that like. Go ahead. You've been here for a while. You've been following us this season to get your updates on the Never Ever Should Have Met. The Never Ever Mets. And go ahead and subscribe to myself, actually Aubrey, here on YouTube and all other platforms. LCid932. Be sure to follow her. We're going to be doing Tuesday, Somebody's Son, and Life is Reality. Definitely follow his channel and catch him over on Instagram. He does the workouts. He's the workout guru, guys. And guys, that's it. It's actually Aubrey, and we're signing off. We're getting ready to shake and shimmy on out of here.